Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a nice time, relaxing a bit. Today's lecture is going to be on Adobe Premiere Pro. Last week we reviewed the production crew and different job profiles that can be of interest to you. You can remember that we went across the one production crew member and a full production members. We also considered key elements for the production, such as familiarity, avoiding the cliches, and so on. Today we'll move into the post-production process and get familiar with the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro. After making footage of different sequences, we have to edit them. By editing, I mean that we need to review any effects that need to be added to your audio and your video. We need as well to cut sequences that are irrelevant to your theme. And in the end, we need to blend them properly by rendering them into one single video. For this lecture, you'll get to be familiar with Adobe Premiere Pro, like I said earlier. You'll open the software, click on New Project. You can name your file and you can browse where you're going to save it. Let's say, for example, in my case, I'm going to save it in media production. You select the folder and then these data you can leave them as they are. If it's going to be projected on a large screen, then you should select HDV. Once you're done, you just click on OK. Once you've already saved the file, this appears in front of you. You have 4 different windows. On the top you have your menu bar where there is File, Edit, Clip, Sequence, Marker, Title, Window and Help. On the top left we have the Effect Controls window where you're going to choose the different features manually on the effects that you are going to add. Next to it you will see Program. Right now there are no sequences, but once we open a new sequence you'll get to see a screen. Bottom left you do have a window where you have your media browser and your libraries. This is where you're going to import all your footages. On the bottom right you have your timeline. To be able to start a new project, you do File, New Sequence. You choose DVPL Standard Size and you click on Settings. Normally your audio sample rate should be 44,100 Hz. You leave it as DVPL 25 frames per second, and then you will see there are tracks. You can leave those like they are. You can name your sequence. Let's say we'll say that Test 1. Once you've already chosen these settings, you just click on OK. You wait a few minutes and now you will see that there is a black screen that appears on your top right. This is where you're going to see your final edited sequence. Okay, so let us start editing now. To import your footages, you just do File, Import. You browse and choose a random footage for the time being and you click on Open. Once you've imported the video, you will see that it appears in the bottom left window, just like on the screen. If you double click on it, the source file will appear on top left. Now I'm going to show you how to edit that simple video. You just click and you can bring it to the timeline. In terms of the timeline, you will see that it's written V1, V2 and V3. V1 is going to be used for the main footages. V2 and V3, you use them either for your titles and different sequences. Just below that, it's written A1, A2 and A3. A1 symbolizes audio 1, audio 2 and audio 3. So what we'll do, we'll just click and drag our main footage to the V1. Sometimes you could be having a small window which tells you clip mismatch warning. You just click on keep existing settings, because this is the settings that you're going to broadcast. Once you've clicked and dragged your video on the timeline, on your top right you will be seeing the video that needs to be edited. Just below this, you select the zoom level, you select 10%, you double click on the video and you click and drag. But remember, like we normally do in Photoshop, you will need to, you press shift, click and drag, and you fit your video to the actual size. Once you've already fit your video, you choose the fit zoom level. Now coming back to A1, A2 and A3, they are your audio timelines. For your main video, the audio will appear always on A1. A2 you can keep it for background music, and A3 could be for sound effects. You can as well zoom you can zoom on your file by just clicking and dragging the scroll bar below, like I'm doing on the screen. You will notice that the sequence are going to appear more clearer. Why we always zoom? So that we can accurately edit the footage. Between your project window and the timeline, there are your toolbar. On the top, this is the selection tool. Tools that you need to know are the selection tool, the razor tool. You could be using the pen tool to make shapes on your screens. The razor tool is used to cut those parts that you don't want to use in your footage. You choose the razor tool. You could actually just click on the timeline and remove the part that you don't want to use. You select that part that you've cut and you press delete on your keyboard. This is it. You've already extracted that part from your main footage. Then you can choose the selection tool. You click and drag the video and you can move them closer. For extra editing of your video, you will need to adjust some effects. We'll choose effects on bottom left window. You will see that there are audio effects, audio transitions, video effects and video transition. For the time being, let's choose video effects. You will be getting loads of different features there. It's up to you to practice each of them. I'll choose randomly one effect. I'll pick up lighting effects and I'll click and drag it to my actual footage. You will notice now on the screen it appears as if I've added more light on my model. This is how you normally add effects on Adobe Premiere Pro. Now there is as well video transition. Video transitions are normally used between sequences to make them blend properly. So I choose a random video transition, which is page peel. I'll pick it and observe where I'm going to place it on my footage. I just need to place it in between the two sequences. When I'm going to play it, it will show you the transition. If you wanted to adjust more your video effects, you choose effect controls on the top left window. You click on the selected footage. You will see that there is motion, position, scale, etc. Let me just show you position. You will need to click on toggle animation so that it activates your effect controls. Let's take from the start of this sequence. I would want my my sequence to come from the left. I'll click and drag on the feature there, okay, and then I'll use my timeline. I'll move it a bit on the right hand side, okay. Just observe on the screen that I'm editing. try to play this edited video and see the difference.
I love music program as it helps me a lot in my academic writing.
You will see that the image has moved from the left to the right. One thing is good to note is that you will feel that they are not that smooth. It is because they have not yet been rendered. You do have scale as well. You could be taking it from really small to as if you're maximizing your whole footage. So let us click and play it.
Program as it helps me a lot in my academic writing, in my presentation skills.
And as well you have opacity. Let's say for example you want to make it from really dark to visible. I'll again take it from the beginning of the sequence. I'll reduce the opacity to 0%. And at some point, I click my timeline to the right. I increase the opacity to 14%, and then you could be increasing it 100%. And you remember we added lighting effects. You could adjust that specifically as well in your effect controls. Coming to audio effects now, on bottom left you will see that there are audio effects. You can click on the down arrow and choose any effect. Sometimes you can remove noise, or for example, let's say I want to enhance her voice. There is vocal enhancer. You click and drag it to audio A1. The sound quality will be increasing. Let's say you want to increase the volume. You just click and drag on A1 as well, and then you go back to effect controls on top left. You will notice that there is volume. You click on levels, you toggle levels. You can decrease the volume level by just decreasing the decibel, or in the other way you could increase the decibel.
In my presentation skills, and also we have great lecturers here.
This is what you had to know for today's class. You should as well bear in mind after all editing to render your sequences. You choose sequence, render into out, and it will give you an estimated time duration for your rendering.
Hi.
Once your rendering is done, your footage will automatically play.
I love singing, I love music.
The other thing that you need to know is about exporting the video that you've just edited. For exporting your video, you do File, Export, and then you choose Media. A screen will appear in front of you telling you about the source scaling. You can choose Scale to Fit, and then in terms of format, normally it's recommended that you have like either an AVI file or an MPEG 4. These can be easily opened in different laptops. You could as well adjust different settings. You must always check in the use maximum render quality, because the video is going to be of really good quality. Once you've already selected all your settings, then you just click on export and it will be exporting your file. Always make sure that you save as well your original files for additional editing. As part of practicing for this week, you will be editing the footages that you did during the last sessions. Take those sequences and individually edit them. You will then upload them on YouTube and interact with each other. Please feel free to get back to me if there's something which is not clear. Besides that, I have a special message for you. I wish all of you a Merry Christmas, and I want all of you to relax during your holidays. I want all of you to be refreshed beginning of next year. See you. Bye bye.